welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing well today. If you're new to my channel and you like this kind of content, give it a like and subscribe. And if you're not, thank you so much for checking back in with me this week. So about a couple of weeks ago, I posted a Coach collection video where I showed you guys all the different pieces I had, including ready to wear, handbags, shoes, accessories, and all that fun stuff. And the video was quite well received, and I wanted to say thank you to everybody who commented and who enjoyed my collection as much as I do. And I always like hearing about the pieces that you guys have as well. So let me know what favorite items are in your closet. I always want to know. And I had mentioned in the video, I wasn't sure what you guys wanted to hear. If you wanted more styling tips and tricks, just kind of like extra knowledge that I have from Coach, and you guys did. So today we're going to do a video on everything you need to know about Coach. Okay, so really quickly, I've got my little random mobile desk with my chair that I moved in here and my sad little piece of paper with my notes on it. So really, the outline for today's video is going to be the age-old question, outlet versus retail. I'm going to go over all the different leathers, what you need to know about the materials, all of that. I'm going to talk about the 1941 collection versus the New York. Okay, there is a difference, and technically it is two separate collections, so we'll go into that. I want to talk about the perception of the brand. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about some things that Coach offers that not a lot of people know and how to get in on the VIP list. So disclaimer really quickly, I did used to work there. I was with the company for over a year, but I'm not in any way sponsored. I left them 6 months ago. I'm no longer with them. So everything I say in my videos are completely honest, completely my thoughts. So it's not in any way sponsored. So with that out of the way, let's get started on the very first question that I used to get all the time, right? Is there a difference between outlet and retail? Yes. Can I tell the difference just by looking at it if it's outlet or retail? Yes. So I'm going to teach you guys how. So the best way I can describe it, it's almost as if it's two separate lines, okay, with two separate designers. You will never see an outlet bag, outlet design, outlet pattern in a retail store. Okay, so that's not at all the same thing. If you buy a bag in the outlet store, you cannot return it at a retail store. If you buy a bag at a retail, you cannot return it at outlet. So it's very, very much separated, okay? So that being said, what makes them so different? What you'll notice is outlet stores often use fabric. So the reason for that is actually really quite simple. Fabric is a lot cheaper than leather. I think that's quite obvious. And being that outlets are priced a lot less, it only makes sense that they use a different kind of material. Otherwise, how would you explain the difference in price, right? It has to do with the material. You'll also notice a lot of darker hues in pattern. You know what, actually, before I started working for retail, my mom used to shop at the outlets. So I'm going to go through her closet, I'm going to pull some pieces, and I'm going to show you the difference, okay? Be right back. Okay, so I am back. This is the piece from retail. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's the Parker top handle, which I showed you guys in my collection video, and this is the stuff that my mom had. So right off the bat, I'm just going to show you the difference. Do you see the difference in color? Although they are both with our signature C logo, this is a typical retail color, and this is a very typical outlet color. Usually they are a lot darker, okay? So this actually isn't fabric, but this one is, okay? This color pattern as well. This is definitely something that retail does not carry. We don't have this light-ish color, and we don't work with fabric as much. It's not to say that retail doesn't have fabric at all. We do. It's just not as common, and it's not going to be this kind of color or sheen pattern. And I'm just looking at this really quickly. This must be a really old bag because I'm not aware of this logo at all. A retail logo, you were not going to see this anywhere. The outlet does their bags is very similar to retail. They don't like to tweak it so that it's unrecognizable, okay? They just tweak it in a way that looks like it's part of the same family, but that, you know, they're cousins, they're not twins. So that's like the best way I can kind of explain outlet versus retail. It's mainly the fact that they use different color patterns and hues. They use different fabrics. So retail is very much quality leather, and at outlet you'll find a lot more pieces that are coated canvas, which I'll get into in just a second, as well as fabric pieces. Oh, and the buckle or the hardware or any connecting piece, okay? So in this example that I'll use for my mom's, you see it's kind of a gold button like this, and it kind of clasps like that. You're never gonna see a kind of clasp like this in retail, at least not in recent years. Now we use a lot of turn locks, and by the way, I'm sorry again if I've used we, it's just a force of habit and it's just easier. I'm not with the company, but bear with me anyways. So they don't use that buckle at all. Oftentimes you'll see something like this, which is a turn lock or a zipper or something like that, but hardware is also very distinguishable. You'll notice that Coach Retail almost never really uses this kind of enclosure piece. That being said, as I had mentioned, you will never find an outlet piece in retail, but if you are lucky, you might find a retail piece in outlet, and here's why. Oftentimes, we have a lot of stock, right? And if we're discontinuing a line, there's a chance that we mail all the pieces that we no longer want to retail. So if you're lucky, you might pick up one. Now, the chances of that are less than 5%, because oftentimes what happens is we actually ship back our inventory to HQ. So that kind of concludes what I have to say about outlet versus retail. If you have any more questions, please ask me. Considering I didn't work in corporate, I might not be able to give you all the answers, but I will do my very best. Okay, next on the list, we're going to talk about leathers, all the different ones we carry, why each one is used, what's good about it, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with one of my favorite pieces as well as leather. Okay, camera, come closer. I don't know who I'm talking to because I'm filming by myself. But what I'm going to do instead is I will have an overlay. Okay, I'll take some close-up shots and you guys will be able to see the leather up close. That was a joke. Okay, moving on. Why I really love pebble leather is because not only is it durable, it's one of the more anti-scratch leathers. And what I mean by that is because you can already see the pattern and groove that if you do scratch it, it's not as noticeable. And honestly, I try my very best to be careful, but I can be a little rough. So I prefer a bag like this where I won't have to be that careful. And if I do get a scratch, it won't be as noticeable. Now, this pebble you'll see is actually quite small, but Coach does sell larger pebbled bags as well. It's not as common and it's the exact same look. It's just each little pebble is a little larger. That's really just for preference. I don't really mind. I don't care, the size of the pebble. I just like this kind of texture. I like that it's not easily scratched. So I'm just going to put this on the side here. I'm going to take this out and show you guys the difference. This part here, not the bottom, okay? We'll get to the bottom later, but this part here is refined calf leather. You can tell that it's a lot shinier. You see right off the bat. This is definitely a lot easier to scratch than this one. There's no grooves on it, right? This is just completely smooth and it's soft, so you do have to be very careful. Now, a leather that you may have heard from one of our sales associates is the term gloved hand. You're kind of wondering what that is. I'm going to show you too. This one here is gloved hand. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, what's the difference between a refined calf leather and gloved hand? Okay, so they're both really soft, right? They're both very smooth. They're both easily scratchable. What's the difference? Well, this brings us back to a little bit of Coach's history. The way Coach as a company started was when this dad realized how durable the baseball glove was, and he really loved the leather, and he decided that he wanted to start making leathered goods based off of the baseball glove leather. So gloved hand, as you can hear, gloved, tanned, that's basically the same leather used in baseball gloves, which is why this is even more durable than this. Okay, so in terms of durability, it ranks 1, 2, 3. But in terms of easily scratched, it ranks 1, 2, 3. Which is why you'll notice I love the pebble because it's right in the middle. This is something that you need to take care of like a crazy person, okay? So you have to moisturize it, you have to cleanse it. Now you're probably wondering, well, if I'm in a store, how do I distinguish between these two leathers since they look virtually the same? One One is you could just go and feel it. Just by feeling it, you can tell there's a really big difference. This one feels a lot thicker, a lot more durable, and it's just really nice to touch, okay? Second thing, if it's glove tanned, on the bottom, or on the side, or somewhere on the bag, it will actually be written genuine glove tan leather. Oftentimes it's going to be written in a gold kind of color. I don't know if you're seeing this. I'll definitely put an overlay. And that's how you'll know. If you don't see that line on the wallet or the bag or whatever you're purchasing, chances are it's just your normal refined calf leather, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So the leather that Coach uses is absolutely fantastic. It is the top 20% of all the leather kind of curated in the world. They've chosen the top 20%. Okay, so not only are you getting the best leather, you're getting the top 20% of the best leather. So if there's anybody here who supports animal rights and who are vegan and who are kind of questioning people who buy and use leather, let me just tell you that Coach does not kill for their leather. Okay, they're using skin from animals who are either being used as food or has passed away. They're not going out there just for the sake of leather to kill. So that was just kind of a side note that I wanted to tell you guys about. That's usually the leathers you'll see the most often. I'm forgetting the cross grain leather because I don't have it and I can't show you. But the way that cross grain works is it looks almost plasticky, like it has a clear film over it almost. And that one is the most durable leather, okay? But it's also the least soft one, and I think that's why I don't have it, because I prefer the texture of this leather compared to that one. But I'll try to include a picture anyways, just so you guys see. So now we are going to focus on this bottom half here. This is called coated canvas, okay? This is not leather. This is canvas. And this is very anti-scratch, okay? So, do you hear that? I don't suggest you ever just do what I just did with my bags, but it's because I'm very aware that this is coated canvas and you're not going to scratch it. You can hear it actually. Yeah. Oftentimes you'll see the coated canvas with our logo. This is, I think, the most distinguishable Coach colored piece. You'll see this everywhere, but it's actually not leather. The other piece that I have that isn't leather is this little guy here that I talked about in my other video as well. This is Keith Haring. But this is not leather. This is canvas as well. Now the difference between this one here and this one here is that this is coated and it's not very malleable, versus this one here is just canvas and you can really move it around. This is very much just a fabric. I think I've covered most of the bases for the leather, but there is one more thing left, and it's this guy here. This is a Napa leather. Okay, so Napa is like luxurious, beautiful leather. The difference between this and everything else you saw is that this is actually sheep. So that everything else we saw was cow, right? You had the calf leather and all that. You're probably wondering, well, how do I tell the difference between this leather and the 100 other leathers you just mentioned? This is, you just gotta feel it. If you just touch this leather, it is so soft. Like, you will never feel another leather like this. That's the easiest way to tell, is just by touching it. We don't have it written anywhere that it's Napa. A sales associate will probably tell you, but you can just tell really by feeling it. The negative of it is that it's very, very scratchable. Like, this is even more easily scratched than the glove hand that we were looking at, okay? So you gotta be so careful with this. You have to decide if you are okay with that trade-off of being very careful and, not throwing it around. And this is an expensive leather as well. So definitely keep that in mind when you are purchasing it, if you are ready for that trade-off. Okay, so I know we're already quite long into the video, but we are moving on to the 1941 versus New York collection debate. Alright, I am back with these two pieces to show you. Okay, this is 1941, this is New York. First way to tell, look at the different hang tags. Can you see how this has a metal ornament and it's much thicker? Okay, and then this one is New York. You see how much thinner it is? And the Coach logo is embossed into the leather, versus this one here, you've got the whole horse and carriage. This is your first tell, okay? Your second tell is that 1941 pieces are all glove tanned, Okay, so every 1941 piece, you're gonna find this. And if you don't believe me, let me show you my other one. 1941, hang tag, text. Still don't believe me? Hang tag. A line stating that it is genuine glove tan leather. So that is how you'll know. It's very easy to tell the difference between 1941 and New York. You're probably thinking, okay, so we can see the difference, but why exactly is the point of 1941, right? If it's very similar. Well, Stuart Viviers, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, who is the creative director for Coach, decided that back in 2016, he wanted to launch a first ever kind of more high-end luxurious line. So he was adding ready to wear, which is just another fancy word of saying clothes. And he wanted to make a line that was, I guess you could say, the most refined, gorgeous pieces out there. So it is kind of safe to say that 1941 is a higher end, luxurious piece compared to the New York collection. I mean, that is how he designed it. That is what it was meant to be. So in 2016, it was Coach's 75th anniversary, which is why he decided to release it that year. It was to celebrate Coach, and not only that, but that was the first year that they had a runway show, okay? So that was a really, really important year for them. They launched a new collection, they launched their ready-to-wear, and they were out there strutting the catwalk at New York Fashion Week. Okay, guys, we are moving on. We're almost done the video. Stay with me here. Okay. I want to talk a bit about the perception of Coach, and I'm going to be honest with you, I had the same perception when I was younger, is that Coach is designed for much older women, maybe middle-aged to older women. And I always wondered why that was, and I think it has to do with the fact that they were catering to older women. A lot of their styles, a lot of the looks, the color patterns, and as I was growing up, all I saw were older women wearing these bags. But it was until recently, when I mean recent, I mean when Stuart Viviers, who, the guy I just mentioned, our creative director, got with the company, which was in 2013, I believe he joined the company. That's when he decided he wanted to really cater towards a younger demographic and a younger market. So if you guys didn't actually know, we have a couple of spokespeople who are hella young and are respected and kind of valued by the younger demographic. For instance, Selena Gomez. Okay, so she's been with the brand for quite a few years now. She has her own line with Coach. I don't have any of her pieces, but, oh wait, I do. I bought my mom a piece. Hang on. Okay, as you guys can tell, my mom does not take care of her bags as well as I do, because look, it's literally bent. I'm going to have to talk with her about this later. But this is a Grace bag, okay? Ooh, this is a Selena piece. This was her design, and she has a whole line. So it's not that important, I just want to show you. But that's all to say that she's been a spokesperson with the line for a very long time. Michael B. Jordan, okay? He was the male spokesperson for a male line. He's also very young. All the kids these days love him. He's good looking. I mean, I'm not blind. We also had some Chinese celebrities that I unfortunately don't know who they are, but very young as well, that were drawing in a younger demographic. I was just on their website yesterday and I saw J-Lo. And so obviously I trust J-Lo and her taste. So that's all just to say that although there is that perception, I think times have changed, and concerning how much product that I have from them, I think it's safe to say that they have successfully moved to a younger demographic. I think the pieces that I have aren't dated. I don't think they're old looking. I think they're really cute. And if you enjoyed my videos and you're, young as well, maybe in your 20s, I'm turning 21 soon. So it could be something to reconsider of the brand. That leads me to my last point. Bear with me, guys. We are almost done, which is all the extra stuff that Coach offers you when you make a purchase with us. Okay, so the first one being warranty. If something breaks and it's a handbag, you have a warranty of up to a year with us, okay? Now, it's different for shoes and accessories. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can ask the sales associate, but for the main one, which is bags, you have a year. Which means if there's any hardware deficiency or something that is clearly defect from the bag, okay? This does not involve you running your bag over with a car. If you run it over, we can't do anything about that, okay? But if it's a defect that comes with the manufacturer, you know, has to do with the hardware or the strap broke, we'll definitely be able to help you with that free of charge within a year. What else I want to talk about is monogramming. So something you guys might not realize is monogramming or hang tags. Okay, so the hang tag, right, that I was telling you guys earlier, it says Coach on it. This is one of our most distinguished pieces. We're very known to have our hang tag. It's just part of our history, and this is something that you can get monogrammed. So what that means is you can actually get your name, your initials, your favorite, you know, sport. If they have it like a baseball or a tennis ball, you can actually get it monogrammed onto it. So what does that mean? Well, I have my name. Okay, so you definitely can't see this probably in the camera. I'll put an overlay. This one, as you can see, I chose to do Ivy. I could have done my initials as well, but I have this in the largest font. It comes in small fonts as well. I just find it so cool because you get to really personalize your bag. Unfortunately, we don't monogram like on the actual bag, but we do monogram on wallets. I am such a princess. I have a crown in the corner of my wallet. It's also sparkly silver. Yeah, so you can monogram directly onto a flat surface as such. Not every store has the monogramming service because it's a machine, but you could still get it done, and what they'll do is they'll take the hang tag or whatever item that you're monogramming and they'll ship it to the nearest store with the machine. It takes usually up to 2-3 weeks, okay? So that depends on what store you're with. But this is definitely something I recommend if you're getting it for someone's birthday gift, okay? You could write something like, love mom, or I love you. You can't write happy birthday, that's way too many letters, but you could probably write the person's age. Let's say they're turning 21, you can do a big 2-1. So that's just really cute. However, I need to say this loud and clear for everybody who is not listening clearly. If you monogram, it is final sale. Obviously, you cannot return a bag that has your name or your words or your wishes on them. I think that is so self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised how many people come into the store and say, I want to return this piece. I'm like, sir, it has your name on it. And he's like, yeah, but I want to return it. Sir, your name is on it. We cannot sell that, okay? Please repeat with me. If you monogram, it is final sale. Anyways. Yeah, so I definitely recommend it. It's free, okay, guys? It's free. And I think it's such a fun little neat trick. We have so many colors. You have matte, you have glossy, and you have sparkly. So talk to your sales associates. There's usually one person at the store or two who are like the monogramming experts. I was one of them at my store with my other friend. And that just means that I knew all the designs we had and I loved all the colors and everything. So find out who that person is at your store and get them to just help you with it and get the perfect design. Okay, so I highly recommend that. That's definitely one of the things that I think is super great about Coach. Another thing is that we have these kind of VIP events. Now, VIP, as you know, stands for very important person, so it's not accessible to everybody, but I'm going to tell you how to get on the VIP list. One, obviously you have to have bought with us. You can't be somebody who's completely new and ask us to be VIP, obviously. But once you do shop with us more and more, you're going to want to find a sales associate who's kind of the person you shop with. I'm not saying you have to always shop with the same person. That way is the best way to truly get the most personalized and a best shopping experience, okay? If this sales associate knows you, knows the bag you have in your closet, knows your favorite color, you know, knows the kind of style that you have. So I really encourage you to shop with kind of one person more than just dabbling all around. And what's really great about it is that you can tell this person, like, you know what, I really like this bag. Can you call me when it goes on sale? And this sales associate will literally write this information down. Remember that you wanted this bag when it was on sale and call you. And that means you're officially also part of our kind of clientele list, which means if we ever have a VIP event, your sales associate will literally call you and be like, hey, we're having a huge sale, it's VIP, you have to come in. And we're gonna invite you to come in, have tea with us. What we used to do was actually close the doors to the public. It doesn't mean that the public can't come in, but we definitely closed it. Normally the doors have to be open. So we would close it so there would be less people coming in, and you would have that store almost completely to yourself and the rest of the VIP that were there that night. We do raffles, so you can actually win a bag, which is crazy because those value can be upwards of $200 to $300. You get food sometimes. We have little snacks that we serve. And we really just, the sales associates give you that 100% of their attention. That's definitely one way to get invited to these sales events and these VIP events, is if you really have somebody that you shop with often and you're kind of known as their clientele. So that is pretty much everything I had to tell you guys that you need to know about Coach. I'm sorry if this was an long video, but I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Right before I sign off today, I did want to show you guys a few ways to style your bags, just because I do get asked this sometimes, and this is just stuff that I noticed from inside the store. Okay, the thing I want to show you guys that you'll see is very common is so easy. Grab yourself a cute little silk scarf. These are the small ones. I find these work the best versus the long ones. This isn't Coach, by the way, but you can use another brand. It doesn't have to be Coach. And what you want to do is kind of just, okay, I know you guys can't see this, but you just want to put it into this shape and just kind of go like this and fold it inwards. Once you do that, it's kind of like folding up a bandana, okay? So you're going to get a straight line as such. And a really cute way that we used to decorate is by wrapping it onto the handle. And how cute is this? You could do it for both handles or not at all. You can do it in a way where you leave the little silk pigtails on the outside of the bag, or you can tuck it in. You can tie a bow or literally whatever pattern you want. This is how I was taught to do it, with the little part at the top, but you could literally do it any which way you want, and I just think it's so, so cute. It looks very kind of vintagey, a nice little silk scarf. You could match it with something else that you're wearing, and I just think this really elevates the bag. And finally, obviously something you could do to add some spice is to add a keychain. I spoke about this keychain in my last video as well. This is from California. I got this when I was in LA last year, and this is really cute. You could always add something colorful to a plain black bag like mine. Okay, look how boring this is if you take away that keychain. Now you add it and it's like colorful and vibrancy. So I really, really like jazzing it up with a keychain. Sometimes you'll notice that the hang tags are enough to add a bit of spark, but if you always want another color, add a keychain, and Coach has a lot of keychains as well that you guys can kind of buy. We also have different mascots. We have like a Rexy, which is a T-Rex. We have a Sharky, who's, you know, a shark. So you guys can look into all that fun stuff. It's really, really cute. Hey guys, so I think that wraps up on everything I had to tell you. I know this has been a long video, and if you have stayed until the end, I just want to say, I love you, and thank you so much for listening to everything I said. I hope this gives you some sort of insight next time you go shop at Coach and your approach and everything like that. So I just really hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you guys have any more comments or questions, definitely let me know down below. What was the most crazy thing that you learned in my video today? And you can also DM me on Instagram. I'm revamping it. I'm going to start posting some keto recipes if you guys are interested in that. So give me a follow, and I will see you all later. Bye!